Hey, this is James Malinchak, featured on ABC's hit TV show Secret Millionaire. I'm a two-time past College Speaker of the Year winner. I'm co-author of the top-selling book Chicken Soup for the College Soul and founder of the website BigMoneySpeaker.com. And welcome to the Success Show. I am here with my friend Mark Matika. Mark,
hey,
welcome, my man. How are you?
I'm great.
Glad to have
yes.
you. And I want to share with you Mark's website, www.highfrequencyliving.com. So go and check him out. And welcome. You ready?
I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Hey, I want to get started with, you're someone who loves speaking at colleges to help students, but also faculty or community, whoever might be there at the event. And so why do you like helping students, and why did you want to start speaking at colleges and universities?
Well, personally, when I got out of college, I graduated and I was like, what am I going to do? I had a major, but it wasn't, I took it because it was math and I was good at math. But I took it when I was 19, chose that, and I said, is this what I really want to do? My mother wanted me to do it, my girlfriend wanted me to do it, but in my heart it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I feel a lot of college kids today are in that situation. They have a major, they're looking for work, but maybe it's not in their heart what they want to do. So I'm interested in helping them get to what's in their heart.
So you find so many students, and maybe you might have been this way or known somebody this way, they come out and they start doing something they don't want to do, then they find themselves miserable and frustrated. And
yes.
So you're trying to help
pay
them
off a college loan. They got pressure from the family. They put this money into a college. What are they going to do? Go switch to something else after they invested all these funds? There's a lot of pressure on a young guy or girl. Get to work. Let's make something happen. So I think they tend to sell out sometimes on what's important to them. So what I've designed is a live the life you love workshop, so that people can actually see what's important to them, what they're passionate about, and how to design that.
So that's why you created this seminar.
Exactly.
And let's talk about the seminar.
Yep.
What are a couple things that you help to show students how to do? It almost sounds like you give them a recipe or a blueprint that will guide them and maybe even laser focus them like a GPS does for a car trying to find the driver trying to find a destination.
Yes, that's a good way of saying it. It's an interactive, like a workshop actually, because I give them questions, they respond, and we start to look at.
So you're not just like a talking head.
No. This is not a lecture. This is not a lecture, which could put people to sleep just like they have for 4 years. I don't want to do that. So we get interactive with them. I have them do 3 different ways of discovering what their purpose might be in life. Simply from writing some things down, responding to my questions, and then we talk about that. And then we also talk about what's between you and having that. Because as we grow up, we get certain beliefs we start thinking. Like I said earlier, you're narrowed into a field. You got to do this for your mother and father, your girlfriend.
Yeah, my mom was a doctor, so I should be a doctor.
Or you should be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shoulds.
Yeah.
And this doesn't give any freedom.
And so you teach them to not should all over themselves.
Exactly.
Right? Should, SHOULD.
Well, should implies judgment. So there's a judgment going on. And I'd like to get them free from the judgment. So I look to see, the exercise uncovers what they've made up, what they believe as they grew up, what their parents told them, what their educators told them, their teachers or coaches, and said, this is how you should be. This is what you should do. And they're not locked in. I want to unlock them from a narrow viewpoint and put them into some possibility through looking at their heart and say, okay, this is what I want to do. Then we go into how do you get there. And I give them a roadmap or a simple guide on how to achieve that and have fun in life and live their passion. And it's not happening that much today or any day. It didn't happen for me when I graduated from college. I had to fight. My mother was always saying, don't you have a real job yet? Don't you have a real job yet? I'm doing what I like, Mom, So,
and what I've found, and maybe you could speak to this because of your seminar and the kids that you talk to, the students and the advisors and faculty, but it almost seems like students think you can have one or the other, not both. Meaning, I can't do what I want to do and also be successful. I have to do this in order to maybe make some money and pay off loans, but it's not what I really want to do.
That's right.
And so the seminar you created shows them, no. Look, you can do what you like to do and also be successful and possibly have a nice income to help support you and your family. So you're saying, hey, it's possible to have both. It's not one or the other.
Yeah, I call it a having it all consciousness versus an either or, like you just mentioned. Because if you're thinking either or, I got to work here to make money to pay the bills, but I'm not really doing what I love to do. So that puts people in a precarious situation where they're not happy either with themselves. And maybe they don't do as good a job. So they're trapped, really. They're trapped in their story and their belief about what they should do versus what they want to do. So we get right in there and say, okay, you can do that, but you could also be working on what's important to you, what's your future, what's your purpose in this life. And that's not a thing that people talk about at that age.
Right.
You know, and now, of course, you know, things change too. I don't know when you got out of school what it was like for you, but for me, went down one path and then went to another path, and here I am now doing this. And, you know, it's all about what's important to you, I think.
So, you know, one of the things that I say a lot to students when I speak for them is that you don't inherit your career. You inherit the genes that decide how tall you're going to be, et cetera, et cetera. You don't inherit the genes that determine that you should be a police officer or a doctor or whatever.
No, you can design that. You can design it, and that's what people are missing. They think they're trapped into what their major was in college or what their parents, as I said, told them to do. And you're locked into very little possibility there. You can actually design and create it if you go in and look at what's important to you.
So what do you say to the student who's in your great seminar? They're participating, and they're loving it, and they go, yeah, but won't work for me. You know, it works for other people, but doesn't work for me. I mean, we all go through that in some way, shape, or form, right? Oh, yeah, it works for Mark, works for James, works for Sally, works for, you know, Helen, works for Cindy, whomever. It can't work for me because, and then they start filling in because, you know, I have brothers and sisters, or because I grew up on a farm, or because I don't make good grades. So what do you say to that participant? Because I would assume that has to be a big challenge.
Well, that's
saying
all of us, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever we're doing, right?
It won't work for me because. What do you say?
I would say, well, listen, if that's the way you think, you're right. You're always right. I think Henry Ford said something. If you think you're right,
whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. So they're right. And so they want to get responsible for what their thinking is. And if you change your thinking, you can change your life.
Oh, I like that. Get responsible for what your thinking is.
And we do in the workshop or seminar ways of uncovering in the subconscious mind what you're really believing, bringing it up to the surface so you can say, oh, if I have that thinking, I'm not going to go anywhere. Like my brother's like this. But everybody can get free of that. They just have to recognize it, get responsible, and own it, and then they can move.
And then direct it.
That's right.
Don't let it direct you.
You can have it, put in a little quarter and say, no, I'm not playing that game. I'm back down. Here's what I want. Here's what I'm creating. Here's my life. And that's important in what you just said, because most people, it's not just college students, or have these rules about themselves that they made up. They're limiting. And as long as they believe them to be true, they're stuck with that.
So explain to, if there's an advisor watching, thinking about maybe bringing you into their school on their campus, tell them how your seminar helps them, the students, to overcome, navigate through these challenges.
Okay, very good. What I do is I get into people's subconscious mind, where everything that's happening is in the subconscious mind. Explain
that, because I don't think a lot of people realize the difference between the conscious and subconscious, and some may not even know that we have a conscious and unconscious subconscious mind.
That's right. The subconscious mind stores all your memories, all the things.
Like a computer.
That's right. And where you failed in life, where your mother said that you're never going to be good with money, all the thoughts and.
It's like a hard drive.
Exactly. It's all stored in there. But it ends up running the show. You say you want this, but the subconscious mind says, but you're not really good.
So you say you want to do this, subconscious says, yeah, but we're going to throw you this junk stuff that's been stored and
keeps coming
and all of a sudden your computer slows down.
And you wonder why you're not getting anywhere.
Or crashes.
That's right. Yes, exactly. And you stay stuck. So what we're into is discovering what that subconscious mind for every student, every person that's in the seminar, bringing it up to the surface and say, oh yeah, I can see why I think this way. And then you say, you can always keep that thinking, because it's not going to go away, or you can change it and you can create something new. You can just write a statement down that I am a great artist and I make a lot of money at it, and start focusing from that point, versus the belief that they were told maybe that as an artist you don't make money.
Yeah, struggling, starving
it's like
artist.
The either or situation, right? So you can create, as long as you're responsible first for what your subconscious mind is running the show always. That's the funny part about this, is that we humans think we're going to say we're going to do this and we're going to do that, but then the subconscious mind comes in, takes over.
Yeah.
And what's left is the same old.
It's like the computer. You know, it's not the monitor that runs the show. It's the hard drive. So our hard drive is our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is just the monitor we look through.
That's right. And you know what? I say to people, whatever your home page is, when you wake up in the morning, you put your computer on, if it's Google, whatever, we have the same kind of subconscious. You wake up and it's there. And if you don't recognize that, you're trying to work through it. And it's too hard. You've got to get responsible for it. It's not bad. It's not right or wrong. You just have one. Right. You better know what it is because it's running the show. So that's what I do in the seminar. We get to what is that?
What is it? You probably help clean off the hard drive.
Get all the beliefs out and say, oh, well, and then we'll even look if somebody's willing to say their beliefs, and then you ask some other participants, what do you think they're going to get with that? And they go, well, they're not going to get anything with that because here's what they believe. And so they see it in somebody else and it works for them, and they start looking at their thing and what their story is, and it all uncovers beautifully. And it gives them some power, and that's really what I'm up to, is give these guys some power to go out in life, get what they want, not be stopped by their beliefs and what's happened to them in the past or the paying off the debt, as you said. I mean, that is a big pressure point. I think a lot of college debt takes 6 months after you're out. You've got to start paying.
I remember.
It's right on you. You got to get quick, and you got to have some tools. And if you don't have the tools, you're going to end up being a waiter or waitress paying off your college debt, which is maybe not that fulfilling. For most 99% of the people don't want to be a waiter.
You have an advisor watching, and it sounds great. Mark sounds fantastic. And they're wondering, okay, I should bring him to my campus.
Yes.
And they're wondering, what are, the kids go through this seminar, what could the kids expect after going through your workshop?
Well, first they'll get power where they didn't have any, about that they can cause and create the life that they want. And if they're not, they'll know that it's their old story coming up. And they can say, hey, oh, that's my story. I'm done with that.
They'll recognize it.
They'll recognize it. They'll see it, they'll know it, and they can choose powerfully versus being a victim of their circumstances. Because right now, when people come out of school, they got circumstances. They could have debt, they might not. Maybe the major they picked is overflooded and there's no job opportunity. They're not even sure what they want to do, but they got to get in action. And it's a lot of pressure. So to give these guys some power to decipher and find out what's important to them and start living a life they love, I think it's a gift. It's not getting provided that much right now. I don't see it out there. So I want to provide that for people, and that's what I'm committed to.
So tell them your website and how to find you.
highfrequencyliving.com is how you can find me, and all the information is there. It's unbelievable what I'm providing for college kids. They're very freed up and they're alive. That's what I love about it. When I do my seminars, I get fulfillment because I know I've cleared out some of the gook that's in the way of people getting what they want in life.
Is that a word, gook?
Well, it's a word I just made up. Gunk, gook, whatever that stuff is.
I'm going to leave the last one for you. You've got 30 seconds.
Yep.
I want you to share words of wisdom, parting thoughts on how powerful and impactful your teachings, your seminar, your workshop can be, and how you can change the lives of students if an advisor will bring you in.
Well, the first thing I can tell you is that people will get in touch with what's true for themselves. And as Shakespeare said, be true to yourself and everything else will flow, something like that. Okay, and if kids can get to what's in their heart, it's amazing what happens, how freed up they are to go live a life they love. That's not happening these days. That's something I provide, and I don't see it being provided elsewhere. So, they're going to have the freedom, they'll have some power, they'll have a roadmap and a guide on how to go implement this and start living a life that they love.
And that's all we got to say about that. Go to www.highfrequencyliving.com. This is my man, Mark Matika, making an impact around the world for college students, getting them on the right path, helping them clear their hard drive of their unconscious mind of all the, as he put it, gook, getting it clear, right. Getting them laser focused like a GPS so they can go out and be more, do more, and achieve more. Mark, my friend,
all right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right,
Keep making a difference.
Right. Okay.